Hello awesome people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to take apart an Apple iBook Clamshell. Alright, let's get started. So here's the tools you're going to need. You need a flathead screwdriver, or a flat tip screwdriver, which is the correct word. Some type of small magnet like this, because there's going to be some screws that are like stuck in the casing, and it's just better to have that on you. Right now this is like an Apple iDevice type of screwdriver, but it works. But you're gonna need like a Torx screwdriver. You just need a Torx set, and any Torx head you can find that fits the screws will work. Also a small flat tip screwdriver for ejecting the CD-ROM drive, and a big Phillips head screwdriver along with a medium-sized Phillips head screwdriver, which I always use this one. This is like my favorite. Also this one. Alright. Now what you gotta do is gotta make sure your iBook is totally powered down and that there is no power running to it, like a charger or anything else. Right now I'm going to do a display replacement. I don't have a new one on me, but I'm just gonna take it out until I get a new one, because this one is cracked for some reason. So I've already removed one screw, and what you're going to need to do is there's going to be 3 screws here. 1, 2, and 3. Those 3 screws you have to remove, just those 3. And what those 3 screws will do is they will loosen the casing up. So I usually take them out first. Most people take them out like last or so, like they flip around to the back and then they remove those screws, and then they take these out. Well, okay, and what we're going to need to do is close the iBook clamshell. We're going to need to flip it over. And also, to let you guys know, you're going to need to have a soft surface. Some type of soft surface. Could be a towel. Just something soft so that you don't scratch the casing or anything. I know this one's been badly damaged. This is not going to be like a repair for someone. This is just a repair of an iBook I bought. So there's going to be some screws you're going to need to replace here. I know it's going to be hard to see, but there's one here, one here. It's going to be one right here, one right here. And this one that's right here, where I'm pointing, is next to the 6-pin battery connector, where the battery connector is. And if you move over across, there's this silver type of tape. If you just move your finger along that tape, you'll find the other screw right here. And then there's going to be another screw. And then there's going to be a screw right here. And you're going to want to, as I already used this screwdriver, this is why I carried it on me, because you're going to need to eject the disc with the manual eject button. There's a electronic button, and then there's like a manual, like some kind of, yeah. So the 4 screws on the bottom and the 2 at the top are Torx, and the 1, 2, the left is Phillips. So I'm going to take this screw out with my Phillips screwdriver. Phillips head screwdriver, medium size. You don't want to have anything too big, just something in the middle. This is a snap-on screwdriver. If you want, you could comment. If you want a screwdriver like this, you could comment below, and I can give you some information. I'm not going to include like a link because I don't know where they sell them, but all I know is this is a snap-on and there is a model number. You could probably find these on eBay or any other site like Amazon. They probably carry these type of things. And so now we're going to take our torque screwdriver and we're going to remove the 4 bottom screws and the 2 top screws. 2 top screws I'm going to remove first because usually that's what I do. It's just natural. You can remove the 4 on the bottom first if you want to. I don't mind. But you have to, there's another option where you could just remove these screws on the bottom first and then open the iBook clamshell back up and remove those 2 screws on those 3 screws on the top to access. That's what usually people do. I don't know. I usually just do this out of memory. That one came out simply. And you're going to want to organize your screws. Like I just put my screws into groups. Any torque screws, if they came from the bottom of the iBook, I put them in a group. So basically I take the 2 small screws and put them with the big screws. Just remember that the 2 long screws, as shown here, fit in the top. And these smaller screws, they go on the bottom. And I'm just going to put them in a little group. Usually, sometimes they come out real simple, and some of them just don't come out real simply. But I'm going to use my magnet for these 2 outer ones than the inner ones, because the inner ones, I guess, come out more simpler. And sometimes I do this, so I just have 2 screws on top of each other. Also, this is a striker magnet. I have the box still, so I'll let you know where you can get those in the description. I should have kept my iPhone beside me. It does. There's been plenty of interruptions. So we've got all screws removed. I usually just leave the drive out in case I want to. You don't actually, for this job, you don't have to remove the bezel, the CD-ROM bezel, because it's really not going to get in the way. If you leave it open, then it's not going to get in the way. If you leave it closed, it's going to get in the way. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start from the top and just start hearing some pops. And I'm using my flathead, my bigger flathead screwdriver. As you see, I got the top section popped up. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start from this side, because there's like a little hook on this side, and if you just pull up and you don't like work it out, you can break that hook and your casing will be slightly loose because there's nothing for that hook to grab on because it's going to be broken. And it takes a little while. work this casing. And this is the part, and I usually grab right here above the hard drive, because right here there's these little teeth, and that's how that comes out. Oh, and also what you want to watch out, which I just didn't realize right now, but there's a cord that connects the speaker to the logic board. You're going to want to unplug that, and it should come out. Actually, the hinge is right there, but it's broken, but that is not my fault, because when I picked up this iBook, I already heard something rattling in there, so it's probably been previously broken. It might have been previously opened. I'm not sure the status. All I know is they came from a school, and I believe they're untested, but I've tested them already. All boot up fine except one, just power jack problem, I believe. I'm not sure exactly though, but oh jeez. Also, there's these little hinge things. I believe this is broken, but this is really not going to matter that much, really. So anyway, just can trash that or something. Sometimes the cases just naturally break. Before I remove this, what you're going to want to do is, second step is remove the modem card. And so, oh, I forgot one tool. And what you're going to need is a nut driver, which I should already have it on the desk. Oh, I know what a nut driver is. I'm such a dumbass. Sorry for that, guys. There's always something weird going on when I'm unprepared. Sometimes people around here just touch shit. And I'll touch that. And so then I end up losing things. Always things missing. They're supposed to be. Sorry, it's taking forever. I swear I had it on this coffee table, but people just have to touch things. People that live in my house can touch things. And just leave things alone. And that's why I'm always having issues with my videos, because first of all, I can't do any editing stuff. I think I can, but I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I can. I think I'm just going to cut this part out of the vid so that this doesn't work. Oh, here it is. Sorry guys about it. But here it is. Nut driver, the simple nut driver, any nut drivers you have a fit. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to undo a nut that is right here. Right next to where the trackpad connectors, which I totally forgot to remove that. But before you ever remove this casing, make sure you loosen up two things: the pinch thing for the trackpad and this connector right here. And here is the nut. And then you're going to want to loosen this up. And as I said, it's better to have the drive open and closed. But there's going to be two tabs right here, and you just need to loosen those tabs. This thing should come right out. Just like that. I'm not going to close it. So we'll set that aside. And then now we're going to remove the modem. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 screws. One at the top, one to the right, 2 at the bottom, and one very close to the right, but it's to the right of this right bottom screw. And so we're going to remove that. And I also got a comment on my clamshell unboxing video, and someone requested that I should start making some videos of iDevice repair, which I'm going to later on, which I actually posted on my account, that I was going to make review videos and repair videos on any Apple product. Any Apple product I get my hands on, I'm going to be doing repairs on it, even if it's broken. But I'm going to make sure I have any Apple device that's broken, which pretty much I'm going to be probably later on having devices that come in broken, because you know I'm constantly repairing stuff. And so next what you want to do is there's this little bracket like thing right here that you're going to want to carefully remove and make sure it doesn't get bent. Set that aside. And then what you're going to want to do is you want to carefully peel the modem cover back. Don't start up here, just start along the bottom, because on the top there's a little bit of this modem cover that's like under the modem. So just lightly pull up and it should come off in one piece without any tearing. Later on when you reinstall it, you just have to align adhesive and stuff, and it'll fit right in place. And then what you're going to want to do is you're not going to want to pull it up, because there's a screw right here, And you'd probably see that right off the bat when you open this up. So we're going to remove that screw, and we're going to set that screw aside. Right over here. Actually, over here. It's a better place for me to remember where it is. And we're going to want to loosen up the airport card wire. And we're going to want to pull the modem up. But don't like yank the modem out, because there is a cord that is attached to the modem. And you're going to want to loosely, just carefully just take it out. And there's your modem card, which is for the phone jack, which is right here. Now we're going to be removing that for this job. And apparently there's a screw that fell out. So we're not going to have to remove that screw in the video, but I'll show you later on the video. And what you're going to want to do is, before there's these 2 big screws, and then there's these 3 inner ones. And these screws are for the display. And what you're going to first want to do is, there's 2 cords, one right here and one right over here. And you're going to want to take your flat tip screwdriver. You could use your small one to do this. And you're going to want to loosen it up. You're going to want to make sure this wire is free, because there is a little piece that's there. Okay, now that sounded like I broke something, but I did not break anything. It is totally intact. And we're going to want to free that wire. It's all free. Just check. And you're going to want to do the same thing, but you're going to want to free up the phone jack cord, the modem cord, and you're going to want to carefully start at one side, then go to the other, then to the other side, and just loosen it up, because this is a big one. It's not like a pull-up one. It's not like a one you can naturally just pull up without it not breaking. As you can see, I'm kind of having some difficulty with this one. There's one side I don't have that much leverage. I'm not like scratching anything up to make sure. So that is loose, and I did not break it. And you're going to be careful, because there is a little wire right here that is under the left hand screw, big screw or outer screw for the display. And so you're not going to want to yank it, because you might break it. I don't know what's going on with this iBook, but there's been some screws falling out. And yep. So we're going to want to remove these inner ones. Not the little screwdriver. Maybe, yeah, the big one. The medium one works for these small inner screws. So you'll just need to loosen them up all the way. Sometimes they come out naturally, sometimes they don't. So you're going to want to remove all of them, so there's none sitting in there when you take it out. And just lift this up. That was just this piece I didn't break it or anything. So it's totally fine if you pump that. But just make sure you re-bend it into place. So I've freed up this wire. And so those screws have been removed. I'm going to make sure that this display is all the way back. So we can finally take our big screwdriver and put it to use. And we're going to take out these big fat screws. And so you're going to want to put your little screws that you got from the inner part, and you're going to want to put them with your big screws that are outer. Any screws from the display I'd put together. Just the ones that screw into this part, the bottom part. And as you see, it's coming out. And before you pull it out, there's a piece of tape holding down the airport card wire. You're going to want to free that up. And now you should be able to remove your display. Just like that. And just have to set that aside. And now we just got the casing right here. And just to let you know, you're going to want to also remove any batteries or any RAM from. You're going to want to remove the keyboard, the RAM, and the battery from the computer when you do this. And usually this is what people do to replace their hard drives, and I don't recommend this, and I will never do this in my life. But what they do is there's one screw here and there's another screw here. They loosen these two screws up, they remove them. Then there's two screws along here. They remove those screws and they pull this metal casing up, which is bad for you to do because you're gonna have to re-bend it and stuff. So just don't any tutorial videos that have that kind of stuff in it, you do not want to do that. I'll show you how to remove this properly. As I found, there is one screw that fell out. That one screw goes right in here, so that is one of the screws that I was planning on removing, as well as this little screw, that one. So I'm going to put those two together because I know those go to this cover. Hey, old. I'm making a vid. Sorry for the interruption, people.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Looks good.
And so I'll show you guys the screws you need to remove. You need to remove this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, and this screw, as well as the two screws on this piece. And you're going to want to remove this piece first, so it's not any trouble. And I'm going to want to set those two screws aside. It should come out nice and fine. Yep, there. Came out nice and fine. Just have to work with the casing and it will come out. Just looking at my screws to check. So we're going to set that with our 2 screws just removed from it. And then we're going to remove these screws. There's only 2 left for this case, so I'm just going to remove both. Sometimes the screw gets stuck on here, so you don't have to worry about it that much, but just make sure you keep an eye on it so that it doesn't go flying somewhere. You can't find it. Also, what you're going to want to do is there is the cord for the speaker that runs all the way across here. You don't have to free up the cord. There's just this connector down here that goes to the casing, and you can take your small flat tip screwdriver and you can remove it. Sometimes I'm able to just pull up. I'm not cutting it or anything. Just pop. Just come out. And it should come out. Sometimes it takes a while. Should be able to pop it. Yep, just like that. Just be careful, because sometimes you can do that and you can break it, but it successfully came out with no problems. So we've got all the screws we need removed, and we're now going to pull up from the casing, and it should come out just like that. And here we go. We got a hard drive and our logic board. The hard drive's okay, but what I really want to remove is this jack right here. So we're going to take our nut driver right here, and there's a frame that goes all the way across the hard drive, and there's going to be a connector right here with the little plastic thing on it, and you're going to want to lightly pull up on that, and it should come out. And then you're going to want to loosen up 1, 2, 3 like nuts, and there's 2 at the bottom right here. There's 2 at the bottom and 1 at the top. And also, before you remove the logic board, you're going to want to, there's a connector here that gives me trouble. And you're just going to want to loosen that. You don't have to remove it. And so now we're going to get to removing these screws with the nut driver. I mean these 3. If I said 3. There's 3 screws. They should come out. And now you should be able to pull this hard drive, and it comes out like that. You just want to be careful so you don't damage it or anything, because you might damage some sectors in it or something. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove this screw, which is a Phillips head screw, this screw, this screw, this screw. And so you're going to want to remove this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw. There's 1 Phillips head screw screw, and the rest of them are for the nut driver. So we're going to remove this one because you're able to. It's got this one out. And we're going to want to remove these nuts from the nut driver. And if you pay attention, there's two screws at the top. One is bigger than the other. So just remember that the smaller one is on the left side and the bigger one is on the right side. And when I think of it that way, it makes it simple for you. Okay. Well, so now we got all the screws removed, and we're going to remove the logic board. What you're going to want to do is first, okay, well, there is something seriously wrong with this casing, and it is probably previously broken, so it's going to be hard to work with broken casing. I used to start from here, but now I start from here because I can work the jack out first. You see how it's coming out real fast? It's starting to come out real fast. And then it should come out. Kind of gets difficult. And you just gotta be careful about this casing. It comes out just like that. And we're going to set this casing aside for now. And now I'm going to show you how to remove the power jack, which is right there. Now, basically, there is pins. Just loosen it up. And out comes the power jack. You gotta make sure it is in one piece. And just make sure your tools don't scratch this, and it'll be fine. Alright, well, that was a strip down of the Apple iBook Clamshell. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Alright, bye-bye.